This is the G Podcast with your host, Tommy B.
Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to episode 267 of This is the G Podcast. What's up, y'all? Yes. Your weekly news recap obsession. I know you love us. Keep checking us out. News, politics, pop culture, the tea. And I got to ask for everybody, if you listen, if you check us out, maybe on the website, check us out from the link. If you are not on Spotify, go ahead and it's free. I think Spotify, to sign up is still free. You don't have to get the premium. Go ahead and follow us on Spotify. Got something big coming up in August. Want you to be a part of it. Spotify at This Is The G Podcast. If you go to Spotify, just type in This Is The G Podcast. You'll see our logo. You'll see all of our episodes there. Also, you can actually leave comments and you can do our polls. Got a poll. We're going to have a poll on this particular episode too. So when you finish listening, checking us out, you can go and participate in the poll. Gotta say welcome to the crew, man. Tonya B is in the building. Tonya B. Yeah. And I gotta put you on the spot, Tonya B. You on Spotify?
I am, but I'm not as active as I probably should be.
But just go ahead and make sure you follow. That's all. Just make sure you follow. Okay. All right. And country commentators in the building. Vi, what's going on, man?
Not much, my brother.
Vi
Not much at all.
You've been traveling. You've been doing world travel. So, and more world travels to come. So, living vicariously through Vi. Vi, welcome back, man. It's Big Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. I know your mom is still with us. Tonya B, your mom is still with us.
Yes.
My mom and moms have passed away, but still in my memory. So it's Memorial Weekend. Love them. But Vi, what you got going on for your mom, man? What's up?
I'm taking my mom out and my auntie out.
Oh, don't tell her where though.
Today.
Spoiler alert.
I'm saying they gonna come get you.
Well, I'm gonna take them out to eat. I'm taking them out to eat dinner in my hometown. That's a nice New Orleans restaurant that she's been meaning to go to. So I'm gonna take her there.
No chitlins, because she the queen of the chitlins.
No
yes,
chitlins. That's a Christmas thing for us. Like I said, she fed me enough. But I got enough. That's a 1 year thing. I don't need 1 year. Once a year is enough. Maybe twice. But I got enough pork.
Well, I've known your mom as long as I've known you. So
Yeah. Well, 2 weeks ago she gave me pigtail. Hey, 2 weeks ago she gave me pigtail, pig ears, and pig feet. Hog heaven.
One thing we know about Vi, he is not Muslim.
Really?
You got that right. At least I wasn't Muslim that
from
day.
the rooter to the tutor.
but don't the pig, you said pig ears and what else? Pig tail?
Pig, and pig feet.
Yeah.
But isn't there a lot of cartilage and bony?
Yeah, and the pig ears. And the pig ears it is.
The ears, like our ears have cartilage, like pig ears?
Don't
making it too personal.
Don't go down that road.
Just boil it and throw some hot sauce on and eat it.
Gotcha.
Let's keep the audience. Talib Shabazz will be back next week. He's on hiatus, but I'm trying to save the audience right now.
If you want to know, just follow me on Facebook. I post it. Anytime I get something, I post it. Show you a picture and everything.
Talib Shabazz is on hiatus, but he'll be back soon. And if he were here, he would say, "Go Knicks," because he is a New Yorker. The Knicks are up 2-0, which is crazy. NBA playoffs. That's a whole nother podcast, man.
Because you know from when I come.
Yeah, nobody gave him a chance to win it.
Right, yeah. We're in the ICU right now, people. We got to come out. We need a miracle. We're going to have to clear with the pad.
If I'm from Boston, I am pissed watching Tatum and Brown. Oh, my God. That's all I got to say. But shout out to all the moms in sincerity. If you still have your mom, it's a blessing, man. If you lost it, take the weekend. A lot of people kind of deal with this weekend hard when they're gone, but celebrate their life. That's the best thing you can do. Always celebrate their life. All right, so Tonya B got the tea coming up just in time for what do you call it? Just in time for Mother's Day. Rihanna. You're going to talk about the Rihanna baby bump.
But get it again. And just remember, I told you all this about 2 months ago, but it's okay.
Yep. You never get an album. That's all I got to say. And Georgia governor, plus, let me go back, Tonya B. You're going to give us a Diddy update, too. Awesome. And Georgia Governor Brian Kemp makes a huge announcement. Mike's going to talk about it in the news, and we'll talk about it, in the political roundtable. But the crazies are coming out now, so that's going to be interesting. So with that said, let's go ahead and do news with Syracuse Mike, and we'll come back on the other end. Here we go.
News team, assemble!
It's time for the Week in News with Syracuse Mike.
President Trump is intensifying his criticism of federal judges who have blocked his administration's deportation initiatives. In an interview on NBC's Meet the Press, the president was questioned about whether it is his duty to uphold the U.S. Constitution, particularly regarding due process rights for non-citizens. He sidestepped the question, but said this.
Some of the worst, most dangerous people on earth. And I was elected to get him the hell out of here, and the courts are holding me from doing it.
Mr. Trump also called for the impeachment of U.S. District Judge James Boasberg, who blocked deportations under the 1798 Alien Enemies Act, labeling him a crooked judge. Governor Brian Kemp, who many saw as the Republican Party's best shot at beating Jon Ossoff, says he's not running. The governor said it wasn't the right time for him and his family. A recent Atlanta Journal-Constitution poll showed Kemp with a slight lead over Democrat Ossoff. That same poll showed Ossoff ahead of several other possible Republican contenders for the Georgia Senate seat. Among those contenders, controversial congressional representative Marjorie Taylor Greene. It is believed that she is considering a run. However, Ossoff beat her by double digits in a hypothetical matchup, according to that AJC poll. Of course, Kemp is term limited as governor and is seen as a potential future presidential candidate. President Trump continues to dominate the news. Over the past couple of days, there was that "I don't know" comment about upholding the Constitution and the announcement saying he wanted to reopen Alcatraz. Plus, the Trump administration says they will pay $1,000 to migrants here illegally if they self-deport. But here's something not all that startling. The president announced Monday that the NFL draft will be held in Washington in 2 years.
2027 NFL draft, that's a big thing. Will be held right here in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., on the National Mall.
It also looks like the Commanders will stay in D.C. and get a new stadium pending city council approval. A Tennessee court has acquitted 3 former Memphis police officers involved in the fatal beating of Tyree Nichols. This is the state case. The 29-year-old black man was brutally assaulted in 2023 while being arrested for a traffic stop. The officers, charged with second-degree murder and other offenses, faced intense scrutiny after graphic body camera footage surfaced. Protests erupted nationwide following Nichols' death. Steve Mulroy is the Shelby County DA.
Strongly disagree with the jury's verdict, but we nonetheless respect the jury.
The acquittals have sparked immediate backlash, with community leaders calling for continued action in the fight against police brutality. History was made Thursday when Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost was elected Pope, becoming the first pontiff from the United States. The decision came on the second day of the papal conclave in Rome, where 133 cardinals from around the world cast their votes. Here's the announcement in Latin.
Habemus Papam. Eminentissimum. Ac reverendissimum Dominum.
The 69-year-old Chicago native who adopted the papal name Leo XIV appeared before thousands of the faithful gathered in St. Peter's Square. The 267th Pope, speaking Italian, said, "Peace be with you all." Though born in the U.S., Pope Leo XIV has spent much of his life abroad. As a longtime missionary in Peru, he holds U.S. Peruvian citizenship and was appointed a cardinal only about 2 years ago in 2023. The UK and U.S. have reached a landmark trade agreement that significantly reduces tariffs imposed by President Trump on key British exports, including cars, steel, and aluminum. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said this is a fantastic, historic day, emphasizing the deal's potential to protect thousands of British jobs. It's the first deal signed by the White House since Mr. Trump introduced broad global tariffs last month. The U.S. will eliminate its 25% tariffs on UK steel and aluminum. Additionally, tariffs on up to 100,000 British-made cars will be cut from 27.5% to 10%, marking a major win for the UK automotive industry. The first black woman to head the Library of Congress has been fired by President Trump. The president had expressed concerns about what he felt was Carla Hayden's improper DEI efforts. The longtime librarian of Congress was let go via email.
Damn. Just dropped her via email. No phone call, nothing in person, no letter. That's cold. Just via email. Damn. But, of all the things that got traction this week, it's interesting, with all that, 47 says. Mm-hmm. The one that really shook people up is when he made that doll statement. When he said, well, instead of $30, get them 2. I'm like, dude, you just saying the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? And then it's funny because there's a post of, you can unmute yourself by, there's a post of him saying, like, him saying that, and they show the gold toilet in his penthouse. You remember he had a gold toilet?
Yes.
And the pictures of his New York penthouse with everything in gold, and him telling the American people, hey, don't get $30, go ahead and just get 2. So, we'll see how that turns out. Also,
people, all we got is one dog. All we got is one dog.
That's what I'm saying. If that, you know what I'm saying? And the recycled dog, from your cousin, your older
He's
brother
out of touch, man.
Or sister.
He's out of touch.
Yeah.
He's
I
out
agree.
of touch.
What's that, Tonya B?
No, I doubt you ever saw him, in, a regular toy store or even somewhere high-end like FAO. He's not that dad that goes in and personally picks out toys for his children at Christmas. I don't think that has ever been the case.
Yeah, and
he's out of touch. Out of touch.
It is.
Very.
It's cruel when you tell people, when you told them during the campaign that day one things are going to start to change, and they haven't. The other thing is when you tell people who are living paycheck to paycheck, week to week or month to month, to wait. Because a lot of people don't have time to wait, because let me tell you, that mortgage company ain't gonna wait. That car company ain't gonna wait. You know what I'm saying?
And neither is Mr. Gas, electric, or phone, or any other utility.
Absolutely.
They don't want to hear, he told me to wait,
He told me
I
to
don't
just
feel
buckle
sorry
down
for none of them that.
and just buy 2 dolls. And I
If
can
you
pay
voted
my
for
bill.
them, if you voted for them, I don't feel sorry for you.
No,
But
that's
you
what
know what,
a lot of people are saying, Vi. What's that? What's that?
You know how he said, like, these people are saying, I can't pay my mortgage, my car, just the things you need, the necessary things you need to function.
Mm-hmm.
But they can't pay their bills, but he doesn't pay his bills either. He never has.
Yeah.
He's known for that.
On a lot of stuff, or now that he's president, and since he's been in a situation where he's always campaigning, I'm going to tell you, let's just get right to it.
When the money.
He's got these crypto scams going, in a lot of cases, what happens is, and let me give you a fun fact, a number. How many people let's say there are 800,000. I'm sorry, 800,000 folks who've invested in his crypto meme. Okay, of those 800,000 people, 58 have made money. 58 have made millions. 764,000 have lost money. Mm-hmm. You understand what I'm saying? So really and truly, it's not necessarily a company. It's a way for people to send bribes. It's a way for people to buy policy. So the thing that you're saying, Tonya B, is he never pays for anything. Yeah, because everybody else is paying for it now.
Exactly. And these people that are losing their homes and their jobs, and their livelihoods,
Yep.
And now you got this student loan thing coming.
Yeah. So true.
It's ugly. It's ugly.
I don't listen to anybody who got us using taxpayer money to pay golf every chance he gets. So no, I don't listen to anything he got to say to try to save money. But he is
this
not.
parade is going to cost us millions and millions of dollars. He wants to have a parade like they have overseas in those other countries where, and trust me, anybody who's a vendor, don't say I didn't warn you. If you think you're going to be a vendor and make money and get a leg up, by participating in that, you better be prepared not to get paid or be prepared to close your business down.
But only dictator had the kind of parade. But only dictator had the kind of parade he's talking about having. We don't do military parades.
And that's what he wants. He wants us to be a dictatorship.
I agree. And the other thing this week, of course, we got the new Pope, Leo the 14th, and you know, I'm glad Millennial told me to watch Conclave. I watched this on Prime Video. It's a good movie. I didn't watch it. I'm like, nah, I don't want to be, you know, that whole process is kind of creepy to me. I don't want to be involved. But the movie, if you haven't seen it, sit down and watch it. It's actually much better than I thought it was going to be. It's got a twist ending that you'll never see coming. It is definitely worth watching. But I'm glad I watched it because, you know, I really, after I saw the movie, I related to the black smoke, the white smoke, and what may be going on behind the scenes. It really, I thought, and I think people do feel, who actually know the process, feel it was pretty authentic. But the other thing I got to say to black folks, man, don't be claiming everybody.
We claim whatever we can now.
We claim everybody. It's like the
we
Pope,
don't claim Tiger and we don't claim Kanye.
But he's from Chicago. You know, I guess, you know, he's actually been in Chicago, and he has dual citizenship of Peruvian citizenship and American citizenship. But I guess, you know, the fact that somebody traced his lineage, and it does go back to roots in a black community, like a black
New Orleans, baby.
So he's kind of Creole, you know.
Kinda.
So,
sorry.
Either you is or you ain't.
He is.
Well, you know.
His grandparents, that's not too far removed, which means one of his parents is from NOLA.
Yeah. They were the passing people. So
exactly.
Now we know.
But you know what? If you put him next to all the other, for lack of a better term or worse, the other lily white popes, his skin is noticeably darker. Because I looked at him today.
Vi's asking the question. I'm asking. Go ahead, Vi.
What do he claim? That was important. What did he claim?
He claims the white side.
The Cristo. That's it. He claimed.
He white. Did he claimed to be white? He white. He claimed to be white.
But I do have to just say, I just got to say to my people, I get it. I know we get excited when there's an opportunity, but the guy's been in Chicago all this time, and I never heard of him. So,
wait,
you know,
never heard of him.
Now, Obama did step up. Obama said,
he and Michelle are South Side. Well, they're South Side as well.
Yeah, so Obama shot a nice little text.
And then there's the suburban South Side.
Right. So where was he from? Is he on the gangbang and South Side?
He's always a peacemaker.
Yeah, I agree.
He's from the good hair side. Okay.
I just got to say to my people, though, Tonya B, not everybody needs to be claimed. Not everybody needs to be invited to the picnic. Let's wait and see.
Well,
don't be jumping out.
Picnic now. Okay.
Did he ask for the invitation?
I'm seeing all these tweets and Blue Sky and YouTube's, you know, it's like, we got a black pope. I'm like, wait a minute, y'all. That's how they were claiming Clinton.
Right,
George,
really.
Bill Clinton, the first black president. Here we go again.
That was because of his behavior.
Well,
he did have black traits. He might not have been black, but he had a lot of black traits.
Well, he's some women, but I know, seriously though, I think it was, and I'm not too far off the mark, it was something like Bill Clinton's grandmother or great grandmother was just a lighter complected black woman. Hence his wiry curly hair.
Yeah, I'm telling you, in the South, I mean, anywhere. I mean, when you do your lineage, some are somewhere in there.
Italy and Africa are next to each other, so you have you see a lot of people of Italian descent who have darker skin and who have really curly, kind of what they call kinky hair, but you know, they have that thick curly hair, and that's where it comes from.
So true. Anything else stand out in the news? What Mike talked about?
Just something real quick, and I know this is local, but I just want to say prayers up to the family of the little girl who said to her auntie, that tree's going to hurt somebody someday. They just buried her. She's 10 years old. This last storm we had, the mother said she had asked to have the tree removed. It didn't. It fell on her 10-year-old baby girl and killed her and paralyzed the grandmother.
That's all.
So yeah, that is. So prayers up to them. And again, it's Mother's Day weekend, and you have to bury, your only daughter. I can't imagine.
Yeah. So true. Yeah. So true. All right, you got anything, Vi? We'll go ahead and take a break then. Good. All right, let's go ahead and take a break. And we'll come back with the tea.
Oh, right, Lord.
Tonya B, we need to get a crypto coin. I'm convinced.
A G coin?
A G coin.
Ain't nothing but a G coin, baby.
I just had to look back at this story, man, about all the money that's being made, and it's just crazy. If y'all get a chance, really look at the story. It's CNBC.
It's being stolen. Let's call a thing. The money being stolen.
I agree. All right, y'all, here we go. Let's go ahead and do it.
Now then, children, it's time for tea.
It's tea time, y'all. Sipping the tea with Tonya B.
Tonya B, what you got?
All right, first we have to start out on the also the 5,000 Black Baptist churches of Atlanta and beyond. This is the obituary. Rest in peace to Clarence Smith. If you don't know who he is the man that I think really changed the culture for women of color in this country as the founder of Essence magazine. He recently passed away. Granted, it's not what it used to be, but still, it is part of the fabric of our culture, like Ebony Magazine and Jet. Also, want to say rest in peace to Eddie Fluellen. He is a co-founder of the R&B group Switch.
My group.
Yeah, with the DeBarge brothers, and also don't forget Phil Ingram. James Ingram's brother was also in Switch, and he was a co-founder. He left the group, went on to do some other things, but he died peacefully in his sleep. And although Switch had a very short career, they made an impact again in Black music culture because their music still gets played to this day, across many generations. It's sampled a lot. So rest in peace to Eddie Fluellen. Now
Can I say this? If you listen to Silk Sonic with Bruno Mars, I've said this over and over again, that's what Switch did.
Yeah, exactly. So I Call Your Name and I Want to Be Closer, all they had, like I said, maybe 2 or 3 albums, and then they kind of fell off. And, Bobby and Tommy DeBarge have since passed away, but they definitely have made an impact, especially when it comes to R&B slow jams. Also, I want to say rest in peace to Queen Latifah's show, The Equalizer. It's been very quietly canceled, but I'm not worried. And I'm sure she isn't either because Latifah always comes back and she hits hard and she hits strong. So I'm sure we'll see her somewhere else soon. And I also want to say rest in peace to somebody, Tommy B, that you turned me on to. A young man named Jay Ross. They calls him Jay Ross, the boss. He was really an advocate for podcasting and for independent artists. And a lot of his artists you can hear on the Bird Wire right here on Castropolis.net on demand. Just died suddenly. You still don't know what it is. He was a relatively young man, but he was really making an impact and really working hard and advocating for independent artists like Shaka Khan's daughter. No, not to say, the famous and the not so famous, but he will definitely be missed. I don't know who will fill his shoes.
And he was close to a lot of the classic artists like Mickey Howard. He always, like whenever they had new projects or Melba Moore's projects.
And he would take on the Big projects guy. To salute the legend and give them their flowers when a lot of other people would not do that. So
yeah, he's been on the podcast. I forgot which
and he was an early supporter of the podcast. Let's talk about the Met Gala. There was a lot of fashion everywhere. Diana Ross, Zendaya, Jimson Idris, the actor, whatever. But the shocker of the night.
Wait a minute, Idris Elba or the other one? From
Idris, the one that was in
from
Snowflake or whatever that.
I know.
Yeah. So he's doing in the Marvel universe. So he came with a tearaway outfit that was very interesting. But I think the most shocking, not to me, but to most people, was the very noticeable baby bump of Rihanna. She and A$AP Rocky are expecting their third child. I got some more news about A$AP Rocky later. But I think, as much as they had this dandy theme with black men in fashion, she had the suit jacket on backwards. It was actually an interesting outfit. And I will say this, when she was interviewed, Rihanna has stepped up her game. She's very well spoken now. So I can't hate on her for that. Okay, you know what? We can't get away from this Diddy trial. So, he wouldn't take a plea deal. I think now he's supposed to be dropping names. Two names that came up this week were the comedian Mike Myers from Wayne's World and SNL, and unfortunately, Michael B. Jordan. We don't know about TD Jakes yet, but I love the guy that said, they asked him if he smoked weed. He said, yeah, I smoked weed last night thinking he would get out of being a juror, and they selected him. The jury's not going to be sequestered, which is interesting. And the judge he purposely did not name the jury on Friday, thinking people would go home over the weekend and try to get out of it. It's going to be a long, they're talking now 3-4 months, maybe more. With the trial. Yeah.
I thought it was going to be 8 weeks. Oh, 8 weeks.
Well, that's too much right there. And don't forget, you got holidays. So, but what people are really kind of keying in on is the prosecution team, which is all female and all Caucasian. And I still say they're talking about Puffy and Cassie were mutually abusive to each other. And again, I say, I have been in the room with this girl. She's a $105 dripping wet. Don't tell me unless she beat Puffy with a barbell, I don't see her beating him up. But she is very pregnant, expecting her child very soon. But she is going to come in there and testify. And they have some witnesses the prosecution can't find. Puffy's lawyers are trying every trick in the book and out of it to get him out of it. But I think they're going to make an example of him as well. That's just my thought.
They're gonna make him look like Ike Turner.
R. Kelly, Ike Turner, Eat the Cake anime, and anyway, and Harvey Weinstein. Let's talk about Smokey Robinson, the Motown legend. He and his wife Frances have been accused of sexual battery and assault and rape. There was a maid that claims that, and there are 4 women in this lawsuit, and there's one maid that claims that, he hit her from the back 10 times. My thing is, if you are a housekeeper, you can go to the Ritz-Carlton. You can go somewhere else and get a job. Why she stayed remains to be seen. Smokey says he's appalled. His lawyer says it is a money grab. And, and what I'm hearing is about his wife, Frances, is that she wasn't part of this alleged sexual assault, but she created a hostile work environment and she would cuss out the housekeepers and use racial slurs against them. So now they've decided after all these years, because this has been going on for about 10 years, that now they're traumatized. But, it's like always try to bring down the black man. You never, except, Smokey's had his little, blips here and there, but nothing ever like this. And again, the man's almost 85 years old. Really?
So is he still going to keep bumping and grinding on stage?
I think he need to go sit down for a minute.
Okay.
And just
but you know what I got to say about that? You remember Arnold Schwarzenegger, right?
Yeah, him with the maid, and she had a baby.
So yeah, I'm just saying. Okay.
Exactly.
Just saying.
I know,
but I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying, it's not.
Let's see what happens with they all. The burden of proof, I think, will unfortunately lie on these women, not so much on Smokey. But anyway, he can make them go away.
Is it criminal or civil?
Right now, it's still they just want money.
They just want money.
It's very similar to this Byron Scott thing, which I think is ridiculous because it's been 38 years since this happened. And I'm going to give you a couple of quick facts. Now, this lawsuit was filed back in 2022 for something that happened in 1987. It was just amended this month, and that's when Byron Scott's name was added to the lawsuit. The girl says he committed sexual battery in a janitor's closet when the Lakers were at a high school for some kind of sports clinic. She was 15.
What?
Yes. I'm not done yet. She was 15. He was 26 at the height of, the Lakers dynasty. But the thing is, I think this is a money grab, and I think it's some BS. Because if all they're demanding is $25,000, some lost wages and attorney fees, by the time.
Wait a minute. What? $25,000?
I think this is some BS. It's a money grab. I believe this is a money grab. Byron's over. He's coaching in the Philippines now. But and then they want a trial by jury. I think if they go to trial by jury, it's probably going to get thrown out on some technicality.
So she was in L.A. It was a woman living in L.A. in high school.
But my thing is, again, I say
$25,000 is just,
and that's all she wanted, $25,000. She gonna throw this.
His name was just added to this lawsuit like this month. We're only into 9 days into May.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if this
Wow.
happened in 87 and they filed in 2022, do the math. Okay, let's move on. Let's talk about
Yeah.
Highest to Lowest, the new Spike Lee joint with
Yes.
Denzel. Now, this movie
Yes.
actually
Yes.
is
Yes.
based on the entertainment industry. And, this is supposed to be the breakout role for ASAP Rocky. He's in this movie with Denzel and Spike Lee. Of course, it comes to theaters on August 3rd. I'm sure I'm like everybody else who's going to wait until Labor Day weekend, September 5th, to watch it on Apple TV. But it'll be good to see the two of them back together. So I'm looking forward to that.
I'm excited about this. It was originally, as Spike always does in a lot of cases, he converts foreign films to American films. And this was a Japanese film, and it wasn't based on the music industry initially. It was based on like an industrialist rich in Japan. And, it's a ransom movie that goes wrong.
Right, I think it's Denzel's a big executive, a la kind of like a Barry Gordy type person. And I do believe ASAP, but I hope ASAP is taking acting lessons, because this could really change the trajectory of his career. Because if you think about it, the ASAP hip hop franchise is busted. So.
But let me say, before ASAP was in trouble, ASAP, and I don't remember the name of the movie. It's on Netflix. He did an excellent job. He is really a not a great actor, but he's a good actor who can be great. Yeah. But that whole incident really just threw the trajectory of his career.
That did set him back, and thank God he was found not guilty. Because if he'd have gotten found guilty, it would have been over. So I guess I hope he's taking acting lessons, and this could be a breakout role for him. Because I think if he does a good job, Spike will use him in other movies.
Yeah, I agree. I'm excited about it for Denzel and Spike working together again. The last time Denzel and Spike, I think, worked together was Inside Man, which was an excellent. I mean, if you haven't seen Inside Man, you should watch it. Right. It is an underrated Spike Lee movie. In my opinion, it's one of his best. So I'm excited to see Denzel again. From the years when he worked with Spike. I mean, one of my old school Spike movies was Mo Better Blues. And of course, Mo Better
Make
Blues.
it Mo Better, baby.
Yep. So ultimately, I do hope this movie puts them both, Spike and Denzel, in the Oscar race. I'm hoping it will. He does need one last chance.
Yeah.
I kind of compare Spike to like Scorsese. He's in that realm, and he deserves a not just the honorary Oscars that they be giving black people all the time. He needs a real one, and maybe this will do it. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
One more thing. Couple watch. This is the new Baywatch. Is in BAE is Anderson .Paak and Mariah Carey. He's wearing T-shirts with her face on them, and allegedly he's going to be producing new music for her that will supposedly bring her back, kind of like the emancipation of Mimi. So we'll see how long this lasts.
Interesting. Well, you know what? If anybody can do it, he can. He's a talented brother.
He really is.
So I do think of all the producers she's worked with, he might bring the best or the most. Well, I don't know how much she's got left voice-wise, but we'll see. We'll see. Hey, I do want to mention something. I was going to mention it at the end of the show. We got a little time. I can't believe I'm still watching it, Beyond the Gates. Do you record it, Vi? You watch it? I know do you record Beyond the Gates of CBS?
Nope.
Let me tell you guys, I got to give it up to them. They have done a phenomenal job. Even though of all the soaps, they seem to be the most preempted of the soaps. You know what I mean? Soccer.
Yeah.
And 2 weeks in the and you and I we come from the industry. We kind of understand ratings.
So that's the black soap opera you're talking about.
Yes, yeah, Beyond the Gates. With the NAACP has a deal with CBS, and my whole thing is, I kind of follow the industry now, watching how well this thing's going to do, and it's been doing well in the ratings. First couple of weeks when it debuted, it did beat General Hospital, but when you're going up against General damn Hospital, you know what I'm saying? You can't afford to keep being preempted like this. And I said this to some people, and they got, they do this all the time. But my whole point is, they're not doing it to the other soaps. So if this soap keeps getting preempted, that's what I'm saying. They do it to the other soaps. I'm like, look, all the other soaps are gone, except for General Hospital and CBS.
You're right. They're gone.
Yeah.
Soaps are a thing of the past, not just about.
It is. Yeah,
but this soap is doing well, and I gotta, I didn't know what to expect, but it is actually doing well. This is Sweeps. Sweeps goes until, as we tape, this show May 22nd. So that's the last day of May sweeps. You have, 4 sweeps periods in a year, and this is the second sweeps period. So my whole thing is, don't preempt shows during sweeps. It's going to show, and then and you're going to wonder why the ratings aren't as strong. Right. You preempt it.
What? There's basketball. There was golf, and it is going to be something else, and all of this stuff. And it's kind of by design, but also this show was also in certain markets up against shows like Jennifer Hudson and Tamron Hall, which I think is kind of janky. But
it's actually, I will tell you though, it's 2 p.m. I'm in Atlanta on Atlanta News First, and it's got a 55% Black audience. Wow. Okay, and
people lost their jobs. Sorry.
Yeah, but it is really. I mean, it's there's some drama. I ain't gonna go into it.
It's not like bad Carey acting, is it? It's real acting.
Oh no, actually, a lot of the actors. There are a couple of the actors from Queen Sugar. You've got a couple of the one who's showing out the most. Cool. There's a clip of her now on that's going around on social media where she was in The Parkers, and she was playing Professor Ogilvy's love interest. So she didn't last long.
Oh, Veronica?
No, it wasn't. No, it was. I forgot her name because I think it was only a few.
She was in the.
Her last name is Man Grant. That's her real name ends in Man. It's a hyphenated Man Grant.
Yes.
As in her last name was Man. But I gotta say, I give it up to him. I don't want to go on and on, but I'd love your thoughts. I'm going to put a poll. Maybe I'll do it on this episode where I'll add a poll and find out if people are still watching it. Go ahead.
I think people just wanted to succeed because this is.
But it's actually good, Tonya B. I ain't gonna lie to you.
And to be able to carry an hour, like Generations and the others are only a half an hour. Beyond the Gates is 1 hour. Yeah. And I think that they always love to see us fail, but I really want this to succeed. So if nothing else, and I will commit right now, I don't watch it, but I will begin to record it because that does count now.
And I will tell you, Vi, because you said an hour, when you watch it on, I have Paramount Plus, when you watch it on Paramount Plus without the commercials, it's like a half hour.
Wow.
Just the cut, because the commercial breaks extended.
Commercials on.
Yeah, it's got plenty of commercials. Yeah,
I've been meaning to watch
got
it.
Anything else?
I make effort to watch it this week. Then.
Well, let me say this. You know how it is trying to jump into a soap at this point in the game.
I don't know, because that's somebody never been into soap operas.
I haven't been into soaps since I got locked. Since I was in elementary school, locked in the house. During the summer. You know what I'm saying? Don't you come out this house. I'll be back. So I got to watch CBS.
I guess
I really hadn't, but I started watching now. I'm like a freaking soap opera guy. What is up with that? So my Tom Jones used to do the soap.
A lot of men were just by default. They just wouldn't admit it.
Yeah,
Darryl Hayes was like that. Darryl Hayes
just got something for everybody, y'all.
Yeah.
Darryl Hayes make his college schedule around soap operas. Movies in college.
That's the only one I can watch. I can't. Yeah, you're true. But it's so easy now to record.
To record, yeah.
To record.
Support. Just like you support this podcast.
Yeah, so true. Hey, y'all, let's take a break, and I want to come back and talk about a few things political. And you could jump in there, Tonya B. I want you to, put your 2 cents in, okay? So let's do this, and we'll come right back. Here we go.
All right.
Hey, I know we have a lot of people from around the country who watch, but I think Georgia is going to be important because, people are looking at Georgia as not just a red state, but a potentially purple opportunity. So let's go ahead and do it.
The Political Roundtable.
Hey, Georgia has a new Democratic chair, okay? Because before Georgia, that position, if you were chair of actually the state, it was a part-time job, which I don't see how anybody did something this important part-time.
Exactly.
Nikema Williams was doing it part-time. Now, I want to play a story for you. Charlie Bailey is now the DNC chair for Georgia. Here we go.
Former candidate for lieutenant governor Charlie Bailey is now the chair of the Democratic Party of Georgia. Bailey was elected over the weekend. He replaces Nikema Williams. Williams had served in the position since 2019. She now represents Georgia's 5th congressional district, which was once held by civil rights icon John Lewis.
And I want to say this, I think he's got a good shot. He ran for lieutenant governor of Georgia, one of the election cycles within the last few years.
What is Kwanzaa Hall? Was that him?
No. He was running for it was lieutenant governor. Kwanzaa Hall, I don't think he didn't get out of the primaries, which was the case. But I do believe he has the chops. He comes from a big law firm in the city of Atlanta, UGA grad. I think he can go around state, within these little small towns and actually make a difference. So we'll see. He's got a lot to fix. There are a lot of problems with the state. The other thing, and this kind of shocked me. I'm just wondering if it shocked y'all as much as it shocked me when, Brian Kemp said he's not going to run for Senate. I thought that was a shoo-in. Go ahead, Vi. You're muted. Unmute yourself, Vi. See, he muted. He's just going on and on. I'm gonna let him go on and on.
Has something else in mind.
I was definitely surprised that he didn't run because I thought he was setting himself up to run for Senate with all the things he was doing.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, when AJC took a poll, and Mike mentioned it earlier, they were neck and neck. I mean, so he had a good shot without even really spending money. Yeah. So, but the thing is, y'all, he's thinking about, from what I'm hearing, the inside track is he might be running for president in 2028. Yeah. He's looking at himself as a potential candidate.
He's got something else in mind.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. So, I don't see it happening for him
at
this point in the game.
Don't see it.
But I will say this, and I'm not a fan of Kemp or a lot of these folks who come out, but I will say this: at least he didn't drag us into MAGA. He didn't drag the state, the full.
He did not drag it in MAGA.
Yeah, that's one thing. MAGA is definitely in Georgia, y'all. Don't get it twisted, because as he announced he's not going to run for Senate, every MAGA clown is coming out saying they're going to run for Senate. Now, what is this, 2025? The election's not until next year. There are already commercials airing for some of these clowns.
Buddy Carter looks like he's very dangerous.
Yes.
He looks very dangerous.
Did you see the commercial?
He looked,
Did you see the commercial?
MAGA warrior. That dude is dangerous. I'm telling you.
I'm like, already. I've been relieved to not see political ads, and I saw this, and I'm like, damn. The good news is this, and Mike, before the news cycle hit, when Mike was finished, this came in afterwards. Marjorie Taylor Greene is saying she will not run for Senate, which is
nice.
Huh?
Okay.
Well, head to head, the AJC poll, Ossoff beat her by double digits. So she probably saw that and said, nah. Say what, Vaughn? Go ahead. Speak up. What you
She have a chance.
Yeah. I
think the only people really like her are the people who vote, her city. I don't think the state of Georgia cares.
Absolutely.
But her hometown, her hometown like, but I don't think the state of Georgia is crazy about it.
No, I mean, Rome and Dalton, that northeast Georgia. Yeah, I agree with you, Vi. I agree. And the other thing, and this is an inside scoop. Okay, when you look at Tonya B, inside scoop. When you hear this, and I heard it from a very reliable source. Yeah. I heard that Michael Thurman is actually going to run for governor of the state of Georgia. It has not been announced. He's not announced it. He's going to deny it. but the inside sources saying there's a really like a 90% chance or more that he's going to run. 90% is pretty high.
Yeah.
That he's going to run for the state. And I hope he wins. I hope he runs. And I know a lot of y'all, we have friends throughout the country, you know, your family's up in the Virginia, what do you call it? DMV area.
Yes.
And all around, a lot of folks. But Georgia really is going to come down. It's one of those states that could turn things around. You know, I think it's a bellwether state. As Georgia goes, in some cases, a lot of these southeastern states will go, with the exception of Alabama and,
But, you know, I
and
think
Mississippi. Yeah, go ahead.
with Thurman, it depends on who his running mate is. And speaking of DMV, I don't know that
He doesn't have to have. Well, Thurman in Georgia, you're kind of on your own because the lieutenant governor and all that is a separate race.
Yeah, well, I don't think it'll be Stacey Abrams, but I want to say this: keep your eye on Wes Moore, the current governor of Maryland.
Yeah,
I don't know that he'll be ready to run for president in 2028. He could probably run for governor again of Maryland, but just keep your eye on Wes Moore.
You know, I like him. I just don't think, and I don't know if we've had this conversation before. I think it's going to be tough for a black president to run in 2020.
Again, I don't think he's ready yet. I think he should run for a second term as governor of Maryland.
I think we got to get out of this MAGA phase, man. We got to move out of it. It's just like, you know, I tell people, you know, for me, the politics is cyclical, you know, and this era reminds me of the Reagan era, kind of, when we came out of Jimmy Carter into Reagan for 2 terms of Reagan. It kind of reminds me of the Reagan era, only because you know, a lot of those folks who were into Reagan, not as much, but it was really cult like, you know, with that, you know, they saw the opportunity to grab, turn, make America great again, which Ronald Reagan did use.
You're right.
But you know how it was for black folks. I mean, there was a hip hop song called Reaganomics.
Yeah. And you know what it kind of reminds me of?
We hated Reagan. Go ahead.
It kind of reminds me of like the racist cycle in Boston. And only reason why it's changing the way it is up there, not as fast as some people might think, is just that the old racists are dying off.
Yeah.
And then the ones that are there can't afford to live there anymore. So they're being pushed out by more liberal, what they call yuppies. And that's the only thing I think that's made the change. And, you know, specifically in Boston, but just Massachusetts and New England, period. Because if you think about it, really, Maine and Vermont, wherever Bernie's from, one of those, it's, you know, a little teeny thing.
Vermont.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bernie's from
And especially
Vermont.
where Sununu, that's New Hampshire. The son and the father, that's a Republican state, but it's just so tiny, it's almost like it doesn't really matter. Like, it could make a difference if it's a really close race. But, you know, and at one point, now that I think about it, when I was as a child, even when they had the first black senator, Ed Brooke, people looked at him as a black man, but they forgot he was a Republican. And most black folks were Republicans after Abraham Lincoln freed the slaves. And what made them turn the tide was when JFK was running, he wanted to get the black vote. So he did the thing with MLK. And that's what made black folks go from Republican to Democrat.
Yeah, and plus in the South, if you were in the South, you had the Dixiecrats, which no black person wanted to be a part of the Democratic Party in the
like
South.
The Dixie Mafia.
Yeah, and I'll say this. Go ahead, Vi. Go ahead, Vi.
Look at the Republican. If you're a true Republican, black Republican, look at what your party is doing to us right now.
Yeah. Hey, Vi, I'm glad you said that because it kind of sickens me on CNN and MSNBC when they've got the black Republicans on the panel defending some of the foolishness right now. They're defending it. Yeah, well, Michael Steele, let me tell you, Michael Steele is a 180.
Did he see the light?
He hates. Oh, he's been on MSNBC.
Okay, I don't watch that. Okay.
Michael, I got to correct you on Michael Steele. Michael Steele is a Democrat through and through right now.
Oh,
I mean, he may claim it, you know, but when you listen to him, because I watch him and Simone Sanders, their show moved from the weekend. Now it's on nightly, 7:00 on MSNBC.
Okay.
And I will tell you that Michael Steele ain't one of them. Now, I forgot, Shermichael I forgot his last name. Might be his last name on CNN, and this other guy who's on on the weekend. Through and through, they defend everything MAGA does. I mean, it's just crazy, man. I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh damn, here we go. But I'm gonna make a prediction, and we'll get off of politics, until next week. But I got to say this is my prediction. I do see it happening. I mean, I think it's going to be cyclical, the same way we came out of Reagan into Clinton. You remember?
Yes.
I think the next president potentially will be a white Southern governor, the same way you had Clinton coming out of Arkansas. You're going to have a white Southern governor, Democrat, who will actually either be close or win the presidency. That's going to be the way that we get out of this, because you got to find somebody who's going to be moderate. You got to find someone. Unfortunately, this is just the way America is right now. Yeah. Who looks like because you got to get the independent voters, and most of those independent voters are going to be white. Yeah. So it's going to be a young, like Andy Bashir out of Kentucky. You've heard his name, seen? Yeah. It's going to be somebody like Andy Bashir. Mm-hmm. It's going to be somebody like Andy Bashir. That's just my prediction. He got to step up his game, but I think it's going to be somebody like Andy Bashir for sure.
Step it up and hurry up. Okay.
Well, it's definitely going to need to be a white. It definitely need to be a white male.
It's going to be a white young male.
This country is not ready for
another black
president.
But they're not ready.
I'm just saying this country is not ready for another black president or a female president.
We gave you Barack Obama. What else do you want? And that's what the mentality.
But it's interesting. Before we wrap it, I got to say this. And shout out to my folks. I know you're going to South Africa in June. Bye. Shout out to my folks who listen to the show in South Africa. But Trump is trying to bring in the Afrikaners, the ones who feel threatened in South Africa, because they're trying to actually do the right thing and give black people back their land that was stolen in the 50s. So they have been granted refugee status. So we're going to have white Afrikaners I don't know if I'm saying it right or not, but I've always seen the word. They are going to be coming into America as refugees real soon.
More prejudice.
They have been fast-tracked. So I bet they fast-tracked their ability to vote too. Watch and see.
Oh, you know that.
we got enough prejudice people over here.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So let's ship in some racists. Yeah, so there we go. All right, y'all, let's do it.
It's time to wrap it up. This is the G Podcast.
Tonya B, what you got? Wrap it up for us.
I just want to say again, Happy Mother's Day to the mothers, yayas, and others. Let's just celebrate women across the board on Sunday. I just want to remind you, check out the Birdwire, scan the QR code, like, subscribe, and share. And I still say, it's not too late. Look, if you can't do 20 in 2020, 25 in 2025, we'll take 20.
You know what? I'm going to say, hey, look at this. Don't give us money. Just go to Spotify. Right now, you ain't worry about your money. It's free. It's free. Go to Spotify and just follow. Hit the follow button on Spotify for our podcast. 2025, if you want to, that's cool. But the Spotify thing right now is taking precedent because you got something big coming up.
Okay.
Something big. I'm telling you.
And just want to say, go ahead, Mother's Day shout out to my mother and my two aunts. Actually, my mother, my aunt, and my great aunt in the DMV. And, these as we need to cherish our mothers and others as they get older, because that's the link to our history and the fabric of our family and community. So please don't discount them.
Exactly. Who you got, Vi?
Well, this country, I don't know what her name is. Well, you got this white lady who called this young 5-year-old the N-word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we did a GoFundMe. I'm watching her on TV. Why are we giving her so much time on TV for her to say, I'm proud to be racist?
All right.
So we've got so bad now that it's okay, and we're going to pay you to be proud to be racist. So why are we giving her so much time? Why are we showing her so much love when she says she's proud to be a racist? So somebody please explain to me what is good about being proud to be a racist?
Well, when you got the man at the top, when you got the man running the country,
but he don't claim to be racist though. He claimed to love us.
He won't claim it, but come on.
Oh, I don't believe it.
Your actions speak louder than words. So that's all I got to say.
And his actions speak louder than words, but at least he ain't saying it. This lady is literally saying that she's proud to be a racist. I'm going, wow.
And she raised how much? Like $700,000?
$700,000. How much she needed for her safety. Safety, well, you ain't never had that much money in your life. But now you need it for your safety?
What would she make it? Kick rocks.
The minimum.
You got anything else, Vi? You got all right,
I'm just saying, people wake up. This country is never going to get better unless we start supporting foolishness like that.
Yeah, around the board. Yeah, I agree. Across the board. I agree. Hey, y'all, don't forget, again, I said follow us on Spotify. Go to Spotify. It's free. I think, they'll push you to go into premium. You don't have to. You can still hear us on the regular Spotify. And what you watching, Tommy B's out there as well. Follow them both, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much. Appreciate it, y'all. And again, shout out to my folks, man, who do Beyond the Gates on CBS. Again, job well done, despite all the preemptions. And that's going to be actually the poll this week. Do you watch or not? Okay, so I'll put that on our poll for the week, okay? And again, I said this, black folks, stop defending MAGA on TV.
Defending MAGA?
Yes, I'll leave it at that.
Defending MAGA?
No, I'm just saying the black Republicans are on the news.
Okay, all right.
So I'll leave it at that. We got to roll.
Thanks for the clarification.
It's the black Republicans who are defending MAGA on TV. Please stop. And with that, y'all, episode 267 is in the can. Thank you so much for supporting us. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms, whether they're here or are gone. Yeah. Remember celebrate their lives. Peace, power to the people, y'all. Have a great week.
Fight the power.
You've been listening to This is the G Podcast. And This is the G Podcast is a production of the Castropolis Podcast Network. Thanks for listening.